negatives, you're good with your bad. You know what I mean? Life lessons, you know what I mean?
Big up, it's a stick up, stick up.
I told them put their hands up, cause it's a stick up. And add me to your top 10 before you put that fucking list up. The money calling gotta pick up. It's plenty rappers throwing shots, but they only throwing bricks up. I had to hit them with the switch up. I'm finna blow like blockbusters, I just lit the fucking wick up. I'm finna hit them with the stick up, nigga. I'm finna hit them with the stick up, nigga. The checks is backwards on my Travis Fragments. My frame of mind is too expensive, couldn't let the system.
Holy shit, happy fucking New Year, right? I guess it's like New Year's, so what's up, guys?
It is.
Shit.
It's happening.
Today we have Davey Bright back on the show, man, hanging out with us all the way from like what part of like the UK do you live in? I don't even know.
On the south coast. So Brighton, want to say Brighton? That's the nearest place.
Okay.
So about 50 miles from London.
Okay.
On the south coast.
And just before you were showing us a place that you were hanging out at, and you said somebody lost their toes there.
Unfortunately, yeah, on the escalator. Not a pleasant sight.
And you're
Wow. Oh, you were like right there and saw it? Like
yeah, I was going down. Some kids down the bottom escalator. Little toes got sliced off.
But it's like funny because his Instagram title is "Fear the Escalator" from, I would imagine, Mallrats.
Mallrats, yeah, correct, yeah.
And yeah, it's just funny to fucking see that. So, well, we're gonna dedicate this episode to those toes, to whoever they belong to. So today we're gonna talk favorite hip hop albums, and as usual, there's so much shit to talk about. Now, Davey, you said you wanted to do like honorable mentions at the end, right? You figure that would be a better idea?
Yeah, it's got a long list as well, so maybe save it to the end.
Okay, cool. So so let's do like our 10 favorites.
So maybe I got just a quick question, David. Just your background with hip hop over in the UK, because me and Sam have this, one knowledge of this part of the world or whatever. How did hip hop come into your universe, like as a wee lad?
I think it's literally, remember this moment, it was about 87 or 88. A friend went to his house and he had both Iron Maiden tapes and LL Cool J. And it was like radio and I think it had Live After Death and Killers kind of thing. So it was like, to me, it was hand in hand, those two things.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like 80s and 90s growing up and very much sort of UK scene. And yeah, it's been good.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, and I think that's what happened to us, because I remember Killers, and of course I remember LL, like, and for me it was Walking with a Panther. Like that was like the first thing that I heard, because my cousin had it, and like I'm the type of guy, like that beat was like, it just like blew me away right away. That's why I think I listed it as like one of my favorite beats of the 80s. So cool. So what a year. Davey,
yeah.
Give me your number 10 album of the year.
Well, number 10, I've kind of cheated. I start with an EP.
Yeah.
So technically, it's an album because it's got 10 tracks, but 5 of those, then it's 5 instrumentals. So that's Verbs and Mr. Slips and Where It Started.
Okay. Yeah, I never, like, was he from out there?
Yeah, so it's 2 guys. It's an MC from Croydon, so that's like near London, and from the DJs from Brighton, producer from Brighton. Verbs and Mr. Slips.
Okay, cool. So then, and like later on, obviously, like we normally do, which we got to do for the rock one as well. We'll do like a playlist, like each one of us. That way, like whatever we talk about, it we'll have like a playlist so people can go check that out.
Yeah, because I'm hoping to learn some new stuff from him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think you'll love it. It's
that I don't know.
Boom bap. There's no samples at all. So it's really good album.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Langan, number 9. Number 10.
I got Vinnie Paz's "Tortured in the Name of God's Unconditional Love." It's a mouthful. Paz has just been consistent as fuck. He's one of my favorite MCs out there. He walks a fine line. It has some. He brings the goon shit, but he's got like a lot of deep spiritual type, lyrics too. So he walks like that line well, and the timbre and tone of his voice is, I think, one of the best out there. It's got features from Lord Goat, Ill Bill, Method Man, Thurston Howell, Rascass. Got on the production Stu Bangers, Muggs. I mean, Sea Lance. It's loaded. It's killer. Paz always brings it. And I saw, yeah, and I don't know. He's still gonna make records, right? I know he's gonna stop touring or something,
So
but
so the thing is like he just always hated touring. It was like an
yeah,
ongoing thing. And then once the pandemic hit, like he was just like maybe he just took it upon himself to just completely like basically just make records. And I think that's what
hmm
he wants to do. Maybe occasionally he'll do a show here and there, but I think
right.
this run is going to be the last one. And then from there he'll just stay home, put out some shit. I think he's going out to the UK as well. I will be going to the March 17th show out in Brooklyn for sure.
Oh, nice.
It's got Crime Apple on it, Outer Space, and
Oh shit.
Esoteric is doing like hype man, I think, for Vinny. So
Fact.
cool. So my number 10 is the legend. I had to throw him in there. Nas has been on a kick. King's Disease. I didn't know if he still had it in him. I thought King's Disease 1 was pretty good. 2 blew me away. And then when 3 came out, it's really interesting. Like the lyrical content, it's like I hate calling it like grown man rap, but it's just like it's where he's added his life, and the
Yeah.
shit that he raps about is just like I don't know, it's just interesting. It's like the maturity. It's like a mature rap album with some fucking like bravado as well. But there's some like really cool stuff on here, um, like Michael and Quincy, 30, Reminisce. I mean, it's pretty stacked. So Nas, King's Disease for me coming in at number 10, and I had to chop a lot of people out, but I felt like I had to throw the man up in that number 10 spot.
It's that production, you know what I mean? Because Nas for me always is like what we talked about. Like I love Nas at the beginning, and then there's a long period of Nas where I just wasn't that interested, and it was the production. But what Hit Boy is that who
Hit
he's
you
with
hit
now?
hip yeah, Hit Boy and
That's
him.
all the difference, man.
Yeah, Hit Boy and him have really hit it off, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff. So, cool. Moving along, number 9, Davey.
Nice easy one. Czarface, Armageddon.
Mm.
Man,
That was a great album.
yeah. So, all right. Wait, these are like you guys are all mentioning my honorable mentions. So, but in the grand scheme of things, is this one of your favorite Czarface records?
I think so. Yeah, it's been the best for some time. Yeah.
Me
So,
too. Me too. I agree. Yeah, this is like even like off the jump. Like the one thing about Czarface that I really love is the production. The production is really like head and shoulders above the like. There's a like very cool like boom bap stuff, but then there's also like really cool experimental stuff, and I think they really nailed it on this. So that's a good one. Cool. So number 9, Czarface for you, and Langan number 9.
I got Apollo Brown and Fillmore Greens, Cost of Living. I think Apollo Brown's just been uh, the most like consistent kind of soul of hip hop production. Like he does some really like really beautiful soulful tracks. It's not really a goon shit kind of record, you know what I mean? Some real deep stuff on there. Fillmore Green and MC, I didn't know if he's from Chicago, but it's solid. If you like Apollo, it's more of what he came for.
That's one of those records that I didn't get a chance to listen to, and I love everything Apollo does. Like 2 years
There's so
ago.
much shit, man. You know what I mean? Even like we were scheduling this list and stuff, and in the time we were scheduling it, like I heard at least 4 records. I'm like, oh shit, I would
Yeah,
put that on my list.
I know. Um, okay, so my number 9 is
Yeah,
somebody consistent guy, Apathy. Apathy put out Kings of Gods No Second. I think Stu Bangas did the whole record. I'm pretty sure he did.
yes,
So Apathy is one of those dudes that lyrically, when you hear him, everything he puts out is like he is really top tier. Great ear for production, but as far as like the rhymes and like the punchlines, he's fucking great. He's got great flow, great delivery. On this, of course, he has like I know Pharoah Monch is one of his favorite MCs because he's a big Organized Confusion guy. I think that was like his main inspiration. He's got Jadakiss on the record, Sick Jackin, and Black Thought. And it's killer. Another album, 11 songs, which I appreciate these days. I'm not really into like the 17, 18 track albums because it's just too much to get to. But Apathy does it again. And so that's my number 9. Cool, man. So moving right along, Davey, number 8.
Well, my number 8 is Leon's number 9. So Apollo Brown and Fillmore Green. So that's 15 tracks, 50 minutes. A long album, very long album, 50-minute long album. Just a really good sort of soundtrack to inner city life and just how to overcome inner city life. Great album.
You said, wait, did you say Apollo Green? Is that what you said? No, Apollo.
Apollo Brown.
Oh, so the one that you just mentioned.
One.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I gotta listen to that. I love yeah. God damn it. I feel like I slipped on that one. So all right, very cool. Cool. So what are we up to? Number 8, right, Langan?
Number 8, yeah. Yeah, you guys got a few that I'm definitely going to speak on later for sure. But my number 8, it's kind of a cheat right here. Big Ghost, authenticity check, and What Has Been Blessed Cannot Be Cursed.
Okay, so the 2 albums, yeah.
The 2 albums that he put out, and I love the producer putting out a record and just show it. Like I would love to have Premiere do the bangers, like whatever, because you and me are always production first now. You know what I mean? I think I used to be like, I mean, it was always important and stuff, but I'm way more production than lyrics. Like now, I mean, obviously, I appreciate great lyrics. Don't get me wrong, but
I'll talk about later on. There's some people on my list that like it's a little different. Like my shit's a little split. With Big Ghost, of course, his stuff is in the forefront. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's great. He's just bringing that dark shit, and this guy just had a ridiculous year. I mean,
I feel really. Like he took over for Clams Casino. They kind of had that same like weird like dark shit. Like Clams did a lot of like the ASAP Rocky stuff. So I feel like Big Ghost is taking that torch.
He's having one of those years like Muggs has had like in the recent history where they're just putting out fire after fire, Just
Muggs had last year, I think, or really in the last few
Muggs,
years.
I feel like 2023 is going to be like some heavy Muggs shit because he had so many like single like that. What was the one with Slick Rick and Meth Man? Was he on? Did he do one with them?
It was like Street Life or something.
Something with Slick Rick, and there was a couple other tracks, just singles he was peppering out there.
Yeah, Slick Rick sounded so good on that. All right, so my number 8 is Griselda. This is a fucking great record. 10, which represents 10 years in the game for Westside Gunn. Man, this is killer. I don't think
I listened to this one.
Oh, it's really good. So it's interesting because he starts off kind of with like a drill, like trap feature here, which was okay. But then from there, it kind of kicks off with Super Kick Party. He's got some great features. He's got Black Star on the record, ASAP Rocky, speaking of. Got Rome Streets and Stove God doing a BDP, the song BDP. Science Class is like Busta, Raekwon, I forget who else. Oh, Ghostface. Solid record.
Did I miss this record?
I don't know. Shit. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. So super good stuff.
I'm writing all this down.
And once again, 12 with an intro on this one. Westside Gunn number 10. And then also what I've been doing too is like I've been making like my favorite hip hop songs of the year that didn't like they're not for my favorite albums. So I wanted to kind of just like, there's some stuff on there that I'll put up that didn't make this top 10. So cool, man. Moving right along. We're burning through these. Number 7, Davey.
So we've gone back to the UK. It's Leaf Dog and BVA. The album's called The Menu, and it's basically a weed themed album. So like each title, I don't smoke, but it's like titles about strains and stuff.
Okay.
So it's 16 songs, 45 minutes. They're also part of a different group, so called 4 Owls. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
4 Owls.
2 guys from 4 Owls, obviously half of the 4 Owls, and they're also brothers of the Stones. So they're separately in 2 other groups. So they're going to do this. I think hopefully it's going to be more together, but it's BVA nice. And Leaf Dog. Leaf Dog is a phenomenal producer. He's like the primo of the UK, I would say.
Okay.
And he gets some real big names. MOP's on this one, and Keith Murray as well. So he managed to attract some big names on it as well. So
Long
Yeah.
Island represent Central Islip, baby.
Central Islip. Yeah, definitely 10 minutes from where
Yeah,
from
Four
where
Owls got on my radar. I think they did it. Premiere did some tracks with
Premiere,
them too, right?
that's how they got on the radar, because like Premiere did something with
Yeah,
them, and
their
like
records are great.
they're like they were just like the I forgot what video it was. I watched it and I was like, from then on, I'm like, I fuck with these guys. So
Mhm.
cool. I gotta check that out. So 7 Langan.
The seven. I didn't know this MC at all. Milano Constantine.
Me neither.
Record's
That's new
called
to
Pay
me.
the Ghost. He's from Uptown Manhattan, and the reason it got on my radar is Pay the Ghost. It's a big ghost record, and again, so dark. Uh, it's got such a flavor of production of like grindhouse sci-fi horror, almost like something John Carpenter would do from Escape from New York kind of vibe to it. But and Milano's Constantine is great MC or whatever, but it really the Big Ghost production is what drew me in,
So
and
I think
it
that's what
came out of nowhere for me. So
that was the theme. I think Ghost said it on his thing where it was like 70s, like sci-fi. Yeah, like he explained he made a post like thanking everyone for his projects, and he explained every single one, like what it was.
shit.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I gotta follow that guy. I don't even follow him. I guess I got to and stuff. And then I gotta give a. Oh, you know what? I'll do my honorable mention to this later. So we'll continue.
So continuing with Griselda, usually my favorite out of the three is Benny the Butcher. He put out Tana Talk 4. Great stuff, man. He's got Cole on this with a banger. The one that I really love, like the track. So he released this as a single before the album, which was 10 More Crack Commandments, where he took Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments and then he added another 10.
Oh shit!
You haven't heard this?
Balls. No.
Oh, it's so good.
Or I might have, and I just forgot.
Yeah, so he did 20-11. You know,
shit, that's brilliant.
But you know, the regular people up in here, you got West Side, you got Boldy James, J. Cole is like the one rando. But it's fucking killer. And once again,
can you remember a crew that put out this much shit in this amount of time? Like it's every year, it's like loaded.
Yeah. And well, you know, we were just talking about like I was like making my rock records, and it was just a lot easier because I don't know. I guess maybe it's just harder to get in a band, a room with like people and make music with instruments. You know, like this, it's like, okay, it's like give me a beat and somebody sends somebody 10 beats, and you do that for like, you know, every 3 months. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
You know, it's a lot easier. Cool. So Benny the Butcher, my number 7. Davey, let's do number 6.
So number 6, I've gone to the States again, so West Coast this time. Grand Invincible, The Results.
Nice.
Everyone knows this one. This is actually you learned about this from the podcast Facebook group last year. One of our members, Matt, he posted the debut album.
Yep.
I loved it back then. So I've been following them ever since day one. So that was like January 2021. So this dropped back in November. I was like, because it's so good. So good. It's very low.
You're breaking up on us.
We got
it. Sounded really cool though. But
Oh,
it was interesting, but we lost you.
All right, we got you now.
Crap.
Yep.
Yeah, no. So,
okay.
so just
you were saying you heard about his debut from Matt, and then
yeah, from Matt. He posted about back in the beginning of 2021. So just I've been following them ever since, going on Bandcamp kind of thing. And so when they posted this, I was like, holy crap! And it's even better than the first album. It's just I mentioned, so it's like it's sort of bedroom beats, really lo-fi, really just back to basics. It's really almost like drugged out kind of thing, and it's obviously got a hardcore connection as well because the guitarist from the band Spaz.
So wow,
it's really, really good.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, Matt's good at that. Shout out to Matt V. Always digging. He digs heavy into the crates, whether it's like, hardcore, like fucking power violence shit, or like, hip hop stuff. Matt's really good like that. So Langan number 6, I guess.
Number 6, yeah. I got these DC Cats, Washington DC Cats, Raw Poetic, and Bermuda Fudge Monk. They ended up with another record that they just put out recently, but at a certain point, I was like, I ain't adding anyone more to this list. But this record, it was the first one they put out this year. It's steeped in jazz. It's got some of the most original production I've ever heard. It's Raw Poetic's got like a sing-songy kind of flow, like think like similar to like Andre 3000 on like Love Below era, like when he started like going that way. So it's more than that, but it's got a lot of live instrumentation, which really adds to the originality of the beats. Also reminds me a lot of like that Mos Def song, "Shine Your Light" on Black on Both Sides record.
Umi says.
Very much like that.
Okay.
The "Shine Your Light."
Oh yeah,
he's kind of singing it, and
I think that's what it is.
Shuffle, yeah.
Well, it's Umi says, "Shine your light on the world" or something.
Oh, that's the name of it. Umi says, I thought it was "Shine a Light," but anyway, but yeah, you get the idea. But it's just highly original. It's like nothing I've ever heard before. The production is incredible. It got some songs are like 6 minutes and stuff, which is like unheard of for like a hip hop tracks.
It is.
You're not going to hear a more original sound than these guys this year. I swear, it's brilliant.
Very cool. All right, so number 6, I'm gonna do number 6, and then from there, like, we're going in the top 5. So like these, my top 5 is very interchangeable, so I'm excited to get to it. But the album that couldn't crack the top 5, but I love it, Joey Badass 2000. It's not as good as Before the Money. It's not as good as 1999, obviously, but it's a fucking fantastic record, and I waited a long time for it. And you want to talk about just really, really good instrumentation, great production. Static does a lot of stuff on it. There's some stuff on it that prevents it from being better than the albums that I have in, the top 5. There's, some slower tracks where I'm just like, okay, it sounds kind of very reminiscent of what they said, 2000. So like, it does sound like 2000s, like hip hop R&B type stuff. But then they got some really
can't sing them hooks, man.
Yeah, and I get it.
You go down a peg once you're singing the hooks.
And then I get it for sure. But then there's some like really just killer hip hop stuff on it, and I think might have flown under the radar a little bit.
I think it did. Yeah, it's a great record.
Yeah, but it's got some. It's got 15 songs, and there's about like a good solid 12 that are like really fantastic. Cool.
Is he still on the Wu-Tang show? Is he still on that, or he not? Wasn't he replaced?
So he was doing. Yeah, he was doing Inspected Deck. I don't know,
right.
But that show's about to start up anyway. It's February.
I know, that's why I brought it up. I figured, I'm excited. But
yeah. Have you been watching that Wu-Tang show, Davey?
I haven't, I'm afraid. No. I don't even know where it's shown on this country. I don't even know.
Hulu has it?
We don't have Hulu here. No.
No, really?
All right. Well, I'll talk to my congressman, and maybe we can fix that for you. All right, cool. So let's do top
Probably on
5.
Disney Plus, I bet.
Oh yeah. So yeah. No. I think
Hulu is Disney Plus in this country.
Yes, exactly.
Disney won't have that Wu-Tang shit on there.
I guarantee.
Like, listen, we'll buy you Hulu, but we're not.
I think they will, because. So I was talking to somebody about the show You're the Worst when I started watching it, and they didn't have it, but it was under Disney Plus, and I was thinking like, that fucking show is like softcore porn, but I don't know. But it was there, so all right, so let's do
that Tommy and Pam thing that was on Disney Plus.
Yes, that's another one.
The talking
dick.
Yeah. That was on Disney Plus.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure they could have that Wu-Tang show for sure.
And all respect to that
Talking Penis
version that Tom. Yeah, because I read the Tommy book. Remember, I think
you told us about
it. It's like, yo, he literally has like quotes from his dick talking in it. So in that respect, they kept it true. to
They-
be your source
they did.
material.
Yeah, because I remember you like first of all, you were talking about a book, and I zone out whenever that happens. So
Yeah.
like you were like he talks to his dick in the book, and I was just like, I don't even know what that means. And then we watched
Yeah.
the show, and I'm
And his
like,
dick talks back.
his
Yeah.
dick talks back. Cool. So here we go. Top 5 albums of the year. Davey, what's number 5?
So this is an interesting one. A lot of things jumped in the end on this one. The things that wouldn't have been in the top 10. And I'm kind of following Langan again. So Raw Poetic. And this is the other album, Space Beyond the Solar System. This dropped at the beginning of this month, I'm in December. So beginning of December, and it's just like, as you said, it's phenomenal. So much jazz. I mean, I don't know if you know that Raw Poetic's uncle is Artie Shep, the saxophone player.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
That's why he's on the album. He's on like 3 tracks. So
Wow.
it's got psych rock, soul, jazz. He mentioned his flow. It's a phenomenal album. It's long as hell. It's like oh god, what is it? How long is it? It's like incredibly long. Yeah, 17 tracks, 2 hours.
Wow.
So it's not an easy album to listen to, but you listen to it, you almost literally drift away, kind of thing. It's it's why I think it's Space Beyond the Solar System. It's amazing.
Very cool.
If it came out earlier, it would have put it in my top 3 probably, or top 2.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, that's you guys are lockstep in here. I gotta check it out. So I remember back in the day, like all the older hip hop groups, like there was like 5-6 minute songs. Like you listen to fucking Third Base, Words of Wisdom, and it's like 6.5 minutes long, but it's like literally like a beat plays out for like 3 minutes.
To piggyback too, and these both the Raw Poetic albums, it's really like it's in like that Dark Side of the Moon kind of thing. I always bring as a reference where you put that on from the beginning, sit down and actively listen to it. You know what I mean? It's like a whole piece, and not just like some banger I put on the way to the gas station to some 3-minute
Yes.
track or whatever. You got to sit with it and experience it, and it's
definitely
great.
the whole album. You listen to it in its entirety. You don't just like put on one track and just go to the gym or
Yes.
something. It's
Yeah.
definitely like put headphones on, go for a long walk.
No doubt.
Kind of thing.
Very cool. What sweatshirt are you wearing, Davey?
Oh, it's my friend's company, Bicycle Union.
Okay.
He's,
I wasn't-
he likes his film. He's got a Texas Chainsaw icon on it.
Oh, okay. Hey, listen, talking our language then.
You were like, yeah, if you give me a free sweatshirt, I'll wear it on this big podcast I'm doing tonight.
Langan, number 5.
It was mentioned before by Sam, but Apathy, King of Gods there. Apathy, just consistent as fuck. I mean, he's got to be one of my favorite MCs.
He's
I
really
don't
good.
think he's ever put anything out that I was disappointed in whatsoever. Whenever he's going to put something out, I'm excited and interesting, but I don't know what else I can add to what you already said, but
Yeah.
this is his 8th record. I feel like not even more than that, but produced by Stu Bangers. Like you said, the features are amazing. His flow is amazing. His sense of humor is amazing.
Yeah.
He gets deep on some shit. I mean, if you like Apathy, it's more what you came for, and if you don't like Apathy, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever listen to the Get Busy Committee? Do you guys know that record?
We talked about that. Yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna
some hot shit on that.
I'm gonna send it to you, Davey. It's Apathy and like 2 other people, and I never heard it. And then one day I was listening to like they're rapping over like the Knife, the song Heartbeats, like that beat, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I listened to the whole record. It's pretty unique. It came out in like 2009. So I'll send it to you because I think it's very good.
Cool,
What's up?
sweet.
Shout out to your cat.
Dilla the cat.
Dilla. All right, cool. So number 5 for me. Number 5 is Your Old Droog, man. So this is a guy that just put out a lot of projects this year. So I had to really figure out which is the one that I wanted to represent.
Right.
And I went with Yodney Dangerfield because it's just like, so you said before about production. When it comes to dudes like this or Crime Apple, it's almost like they're just rapping over like lounge music, but like it's really like for them it's about to me, the lyrics, the punchlines, the shit that they say. And on this record in particular, he has some really cool lines, man. Like The Unknown Comic is a song that he puts, he opens it up. They can't see me when I drop like Wilson from no, they can't see me when I drop gems like Wilson from Home Improvements. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like random shit. He's like, I'm in my bag when I hit the stage like The Unknown Comic, which is obviously, the bag. Here's a couple of more lines that I like. Props ain't always good. Word to Alec Baldwin. The hands of Yod.
Oh, man.
I know. The hand of Yod. This is for Davey. I'm in the top 5. I'm in it, like British slang. So 50K or Brunch is the third song on the record, and it's a Crime Apple diss.
Really?
Yeah, like it's not overt, but if you know Crime Apple's discography, he has an album called Oxtails. It was like Oxtails. And then on the record, he's like, yo, nobody wants to hear about your oxtails. And I'm just like, and then you break down like the shit he's saying. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, these two guys are going at each other. My latest project checked more boxes than the gynecologist. Just really cool stuff like that. So
he put out a Shining influence album too, right? This year.
That was the last thing he put out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the last thing he put. He's been doing like these like weird themes and stuff, but really at the moment for me on some nerd shit, he is the closest thing to MF Doom. Like he raps like that, where it's just this like endless tray of just like things that you listen and pick up different shit all the time. So your old Droog is my number 5. Davey, number 4.
Number 4, we're going back to the UK. So this is a Tremendous, and the album's called Great on Purpose. This is another December album. So there's another one of those.
I love that
released
name.
And this is released on High Focus Records down in Brighton. So Tremendous, really good album. It's another long album. It's their second album. They're from the Midlands, so like like Birmingham area. It's just a really good phenomenal album. It's got some really good producers on it. Ill Informed is a well-known Pitch 92. Some good UK production. Very
cool. Yeah, these are all like our lists are all pretty different, to be honest with you. I mean, you guys have some like crossover, but there's just some like random shit on here that I can't wait to check out. Cool. So number 4, Langan.
My number 4, Conway the Machines. God Don't Make Mistakes. I love all Conway shit. It's got features from Westside, Benny the Butcher, Benny Siegel. Got that typical Griselda sound. And I read something interesting. Do you know anything about this record? That was supposed to be his debut record?
It's my number 4, so keep going.
Okay. It was just supposed to be his debut record, and then I thought I read somewhere.
I don't know.
It got shelved, and then they worked on it, and then they put it out or whatever. But it's a really good lyrically. It's like it fully encompasses his like story from like the beginning to where he's at now, like a real like career retrospective of all the sounds, and the production's just dark as fuck. I love when they have, especially the track Piano Love on that. I love when you get those high keys, those creepy high keys on there and shit. Like I'm always sold. But this record's just perfect. It's amazing.
This record's fucking amazing. Yeah. This is like the highest one that I have for Big Ghost. This was his shining moment. This is Conway's best album this year. I know he put out another one. This has Your Bitch Chose Me, but it's YBCM. Cold. The sample it's a green light. Cold. He got Method Man on Scared to Death, and like it's so good. This is a really like when you want to talk about like a genuine hip hop album, this is fucking fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. Coming in at a healthy 10 songs, 35 minutes.
Sure.
Can't recommend it enough. And Big Ghost, he shines on this. Another thing, this came first to his the one that you mentioned, Authenticity Check with Jay Skis, like, wow, that record's great too. This one just edged it out for me, but
Yeah.
he's on a fucking tear. So that's my number 4. Davey, number 3.
Still in the UK, so this is pretty quiet one. Robert and Sonny Jim, and it's Robert Orange is the New Black. It's a short album. It's only 9, but the shortest one on here. 9 songs, 28 minutes, and it's basically, but to the term, written in prison. So I think it was his third stint in prison in like 2 years. This is kind of his idea of like, I'm going to better myself and become somebody. So the album is really good. It's got Cool Keith on it. Who else is on it? It's got Jason from Sleaford Mods. He's on a track as well. I mean, he's also from the Midlands as well. It's a very somber, very dark, very chilled out album. And the song's called Porridge. Porridge is like slang for prison. So the whole song is about being in prison. And I posted the video up the other day, and it's this black and white video, him coming out of prison, sitting in a taxi. It'll make you cry. It's about him coming out of prison and going back to his son and stuff, and it's a really good album. So it's Robert, Orange is the New Black.
Very cool. Yeah, you said porridge is slang.
For prison.
Oh, do you hear me? Oh.
I like that.
Yeah, porridge, prison, porridge.
I like it. Yeah, that's random. Yeah,
doing your porridge.
I might start using that.
Yeah, you gotta teach us some British hip hop slang.
Do your porridge. So
cool. Yeah, that sounds like something I would dig, and it sounds very close to the record I'm going to mention at number 3. But Langan, you give me your number 3 first.
Davey mentioned it before. Czarface, Zarmageddon. Deck is definitely my favorite member of the Wu-Tang Clan. Always has been. He's one of my favorite MCs. Period, hands down. Always has been. And I'm just so happy for him. Like after like all what happened with his solo record, and you talk to anyone in the clan or whatever, or anybody that really knows shit, they know this guy is like the shit, and he just never popped off the way it was. So now, in retrospective, though, with the body of work he's done with Czarface, I mean, his post Wu-Tang career is as good as anybody's, Ghostface or anybody. You know what I mean? I think so, because this shit is brilliant. It's perfect for him.
It's fucking absolutely brilliant. Like it really showcases. So someone who sometimes might not be able to, like, solo records are good, but he works very well with a group. And
yes,
and this really shows it off right there. And it's just a brand new life. It's almost like, it's like the new life that like LP got. You know what I mean? Like it's just like brand new stratosphere of like, okay, cool, like now we're strapped in, so now all we need is someone to snag up You God into one of these groups and we're good. Okay, so my number 3, speaking of Davey and his last one, is OT The Real, which is like one of my favorite like, so he put out a record called Maxed Out, which was exclusively produced by Static Selecta. This record and the one before it, Glass Houses, that was Green Lantern produced. Wow. 2 of the best hip hop records of the last like 10 years. But this one's called Maxed Out. It's fantastic. It's just a lot of like, I think he did a whole bunch of years in prison, gets out, he's doing his thing. So his slang is super street, very like, you could tell this guy definitely lived that life, which obviously he seems like he did. And it's just fucking fantastic. There's just he doesn't, so his rhymes are very easy to follow. He's got great slang, great flow, and then the hooks and the cuts on this are just really, really good, man. Fantastic album. OT The Real, Maxed Out. So let's do number 2, Davey.
Gone back to the States, this time East Coast, Dialect and Precipice. So this was released back in April. I've been following this band since the 90s, or the group since the 90s. I just love it. It's dark. It's really almost like shoegazy in essence. So it's released on Ipecac. It's the eighth
Oh, wow.
studio album. It's really good.
Oh, very cool. I didn't know Ipecac. I didn't know that Dalek was on Ipecac. You know, like that's the
Yeah,
thing
the old
about.
stuff was the which album was on? Quite one of my first albums was on there.
Okay, yeah, very cool. Yeah, I mean, listen, Patton has an ear, and Patton has always been a lover of hip hop things. You know, I remember he was on an Executioners album, which was like really cool. Like that guy does a lot of cool
Patton
stuff.
versus the Executioners. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucking like
Yeah.
just he's mad cool. Peeping Tom,
Shout out to Rock Raider.
cool. So Dalek, right? I'm
And
gonna
it's got Adam Jones from the Tool in it as well. He plays guitar on one of the tracks.
oh, look, 'cause I remember the name, and like you said, they've been around for a while. Because I remember them. Did you say the 90s?
Yeah, I saw them in I think '98. I saw them in Copenhagen, Denmark. They
Okay.
were touring with the band The Laps. You know the Laps? You
No.
know Van Pelt, kind of emo band Van Pelt.
Yeah, yeah.
Van Pelt split up and the band called the Laps. I saw
Okay.
the Laps tour Europe with Dalek.
Okay. How were they when you saw them?
Amazing. I went to see the Laps, not thinking I'd see a hip hop band like opening up, and I was like, wow, it was phenomenal.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah, I just made a note of that just because, you know, made a note for sure. All
Yeah.
everything that you're mentioning.
Too.
I hate not knowing. Whenever you mention something that I feel like I miss, I'm like, how the fuck had that slip through my crack? Leg number 2. We might have the same number 2. I guarantee you. Go ahead.
You think so?
Go ahead.
I got Husk Kingpins, Bjork Kingpin.
That's in my honorables.
Okay. Um, I have Bjork Kingpin plus the B-sides record they put out, which is like a total of 20 tracks. I just love what they're doing with taking these, like what he did with Portishead and whatnot, and taking these alternative bands that always had like a hip hop tie-in or whatever, because Bjork would fuck with beats and shit like that. She was a very innovative musician back in the day and stuff. So taking these non-traditional kind of approaches to the production is just fascinating to me, and I can't get enough of it. And they don't just take like an obvious Bjork track and put a boom bap behind it or a 4-beat. You know what I mean? Like they're taking really isolated clips. They're really sculpturing like a new piece out of it that you might not instantly know that source material. You know what I mean? But if you hunt hard enough, it's in there, and it's really like a fun challenge for me to pick out parts and stuff like that. And I don't know who exactly. Like I keep looking up, like who's doing the production on these records.
I think
Like
it's him.
Is it him?
Yeah.
Okay, that would make sense because I was always looking for another name or this and that, and I didn't even know the cat was from Long Island. I think
Yeah,
he's from
Hempstead. You said.
Hempstead or something. Which is if you're listening, come do the show. You know, what I mean? I'm a big fan. And then I think he put out one later record with one of working one of Kanye's albums.
Yes, yeah. Dark Twisted Reality.
Yeah, I didn't like that one as much as this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope they keep. I would love to see them do this with like Massive Attack or something, like stay in that wheelhouse or pull some DJ Shadow tracks from the '90s, or I don't know. I hope this is like a long thing running with him.
Yeah, he's got a thing going for sure. All right, so my number 2 is Danger Mouse and Black Thought, Cheat Codes.
That's my number 1.
Is it? Okay, I knew it was I knew it was in there somewhere. It had to be. So I'll wait to talk about it when we get to your number 1. So the Davey, do you want to rattle honorable mentions before we get over our number 1s, or do we want to do number 1 and then
sure? Yes, I mean a lot of things you mentioned before. There was the Apathy. There's also Backwash. It was Backwash, also really dark hip hop. Big Ghost and Conway Machine. The Fly Hooligan, you mentioned before. Danger Mouse and Black Thought. Doppelgangers, and I think it was Doppelgangers. They dropped an album really recently, back in I think November. Elucid, he's half of Arm & Hammer. Elzai, that really surprised me.
Yes.
Jam Baxter, So Jeff Markey, Kenny Beats, Little Sims, known as Little Sims, Lowell Kana, another UK MC, actually Australian MC, Nelson Dialect, Open Mike Eagle,
Yeah.
Pam Amsterdam. Pete Rock also dropped an album bizarrely as well recently. Everyone's dropping albums end of the year. Quelly Chris, Ramson Bad Bones, Sampa the Great, and
Yes.
Shrapnel, definitely Shrapnel. So it's Curly Castro and Prem Rock, Smillerton Piff, and another Sonny Jim and Purist album. So
Wow.
God damn. Yeah, there was a
Keep
Keep
lot
putting
of
in work this year.
I know there's a lot of stuff.
I'm gonna
I have a
re-listen
playlist,
to
and
this
it's like-
and write this down. Yeah.
about 36-hour long playlist. I have all most of the stuff. So it's
Nice.
quite a
Yeah, when
Hey, do
we
you always have a Union Jack behind you, or are you repping? Are you repping right now over
that's
your
one of my
shoulder
kids. That's not me.
Okay.
That's I always have a Union Jack. Trust me. I
You-
burn that flag before I burn it. That's some kids' homework.
he wants to let us know.
got you.
He wants to let us know where we're at. Okay, Langan, give me your honorables.
My honorables, I put them up on Facebook, but I jotted them down here. I had Joey Badasses 2000, Code of the Friend, Lyrics to Go 3, Luca, Raw Abstractions, Big Spencer, Mudslide, DJ Muggs and Riggs, Gold, Mayhem Lawrence, Black Vladimir, Mellow Music Groups, Mandala, and also only because they came in so late in the year and I wasn't fucking doing this list again. Mickey Diamond and Big Ghost, the Gucci Ghost 1 and 2. I didn't get to part 2. I should put that in there. Yeah, but part 1's fucking bananas. But good shit.
All
Yep.
right. So real quick with mine, Vinny Paz, you mentioned it's on there, just missed. It was either him or Nas. And I went with Nas just because I like the album a little bit more. There's a few things I don't like on the Paz record. The Kendrick Lamar record is, he's one of those dudes that's like, I don't always listen to it, but goddamn, is that one creative album. There's a song where like it's about like just a relationship argument. It's like pretty heavy, like when you like the concept of it and like the shit they're saying to each other. It's like a couple fighting. Pretty fucking unique, for to basically have someone that popular be that creative and artistic in a pop world. More props to you. The Primo EP, only 5 songs, but I have to definitely throw it on there.
Good one.
The Czarface, 2 Chainz put out a really good album. It's fun. It's really just it's like strip club type music, but it's really good. My boy Crime Apple couldn't crack the top 10 this year, but he's got a record. He's got so many. It's like Breakfast and I forget, but I'm gonna look it up real quick because out of all the ones he put out, that's the one that I like the most, just because of the production. Breakfast in Haradek, the Rock Marcy Alchemist record, really cool. Huss Bjork, Action Bronson put out his best album in a very long time. Royce the 5'9", really good. I know it's slipped through the cracks, and if you listen to it, it's a really good, innovative hip hop record. The Game album, super long, but half of it is like really good. Megan Thee Stallion, I don't understand why, but she's just really fucking good. Another female rapper that put out 2 albums this year, which were really good. Shay Noir, and last but not least, the Rome Streets Griselda debut. I don't love it as much as obviously the Muggs record, but it's still a really good record, and I wanted to mention it. So cool.
Nice.
Let's do number 1, Davey.
Unfortunately, no one else mentioned this, sadly. It's Billy Woods and the album Church. I'm surprised no one mentioned the honorables.
Wait, who was it again? I'm sorry.
Billy Woods.
Okay. No, yeah. Nope. I do not have that
Yeah.
for sure.
Ah, what a shame.
Tell us
So
about
it's
it. Yeah.
My number 1.
it's his 11th studio album. It's also his 2nd album in the year. And this is another one of those kind of late came out in September. This first one came out in April, I think. There's 2 albums this year, and this is the more sort of straightforward album of the 2 he did. Just bizarre album about faith and memory, and it's just a really, mentioned before about someone takes you on like on a real trip. This is, he paints vivid pictures and just really I've been a fan of him since, when was it, the Dower Candy, or Dower came out, that was back in, about 10 years ago. So he's just a really good MC. I mean, so Billy Woods and the Album Church.
He's from the UK.
No, he's not. He's from DC, Washington DC.
DC. Okay.
So
Cool. I got to get on that, man.
he's Armand Hammer. He's one half of Armand Hammer.
Oh,
You know
okay.
Armand
Okay.
Hammer.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Elucid and him are Armand Hammer.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know his name. Oh shit, I got to check that out.
All right, number one. So Langan, your number one, like you mentioned before, was Danger Mouse,
Danger Mouse and Black Thought cheat codes.
which was my
I-
number two.
Yeah, when it came out, I liked it. And then the more I listened to it, the more I really started appreciating how amazing a record it was. It was really popping to the point where it's just coming up my charts and stuff like that. It's just so good. Danger Mouse is such a great producer. And he blew up he did a lot of like non-hip hop projects for a while and stuff. So it's good. I like hearing him. He first got on my radar. I'm sure a lot of people's radar with the
Gray-
remixing of the Gray album.
Great album.
And hearing him do like a pure hip hop record like this again, I feel like it's been a real long time with one of arguably the best MCs in history, Black Thought, who's just spitting on this record, unbelievable. You got features from Raekwon, Runs Jules, Conway. It's Doom. The track with Doom is amazing, and it's a perfect record. It's fucking perfect.
So it's my number two, and like you mentioned, like when I first heard like the singles, I was like, oh, this is cool. I was like, oh, Danger Mouse is doing a record with Black Thought. I'm like, whoa. And then I listened to it. I'm like, it's okay. And
Yeah.
then I listened to it again, and then there were certain songs that hit. And I was like, man, I found myself like before they started playing, knowing what was going to be next. And then when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, that's that thing. Like it had like almost had like the second Diggable Planets vibe to it, like a little bit to it, but it's fucking fantastic. So your number one, my number two, you already mentioned my number one, and it's Mayhem Lauren and fucking Derringer. Black Vladimir, as soon as I heard it, I was like, this is the album of the year. This is the album of the fucking year. And it just fucking works. Like, everything on here. Like everything on here. Black Pino, Broken Rubber Bands, Airplane Mode, Red Pesto is probably like my favorite song on the record. Like, like Derringer's beats with Loren's like, flow. As soon as I heard it, I was just like, and he put out my favorite album of 2018 or 19 with Piatto de Oro. Like, I was just like, holy shit. Like, that was the first time I knew that like he just put together like a masterpiece. And this is, I think, his best record since then. So 100% Black Vladimir, my number one hip hop record of the year.
Nice.
All right. Cool. We
Yeah.
wrapped it. We wrapped it up.
The Black Thought album that was in my top 10. Like you, I first listened to it. I kind of liked it. Then about a few weeks later, I thought, wow, this is really good. It was in my top 10. It was the last time I heard him do an album like that. Was do you remember that album with Gemini?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the last time Danger Mouse do. That was back on Lex. That was a long time ago. So I was so happy he's doing kind of an actual hip hop album again.
Sure.
I mean, his other projects are great, but it's really good to him do hip hop.
Yes, I love Gnarls Barkley. I thought that was a really cool departure. Like, he's a super talented guy, but when he goes back and does stuff like this, it's very cool. Like, people that have that ear, he's like a Mark Ronson. Like, when Mark Ronson goes back and does like hip hop, I'm like, oh my God, thank God you're back, but he's good at so many other things, do you like Ronson at all, Davey?
Got some on the shelf somewhere. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think he's English afterwards. He's English, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah. He's got a knack.
New York. He's got a weird sort of transatlantic accent, isn't he?
For sure. And he came here and started DJing in the city, like in the early 2000s, like linked up with like Ghostface and like legitimate like hip hop people. And like, you know, he's a legit dude. And then obviously the Amy Winehouse stuff put him on the map. And then from there, he's just like, he put out the Versions record, which I thought was great. Like where, you know, he had Phantom Planet do like fucking Radiohead Just. He had fucking, they did a cover of Britney Spears Toxic. Yeah. Mark Ronson rules.
So David, let me ask you, like being that, you know, most of the people listening to this are in the States and stuff. If you were to like give me like 3 UK take her gateway into UK hip hop, give me 3 artists that you would steer me towards.
Or for any generation or just
like
particular?
I think any
like I want to learn a little bit about it. You know what I mean? Where would you steer me?
Probably the most renowned one would be London Posse. If you know London Posse.
No.
And obviously more recent, I'll say probably the Four Owls for more recent, and someone more different. But I don't know. Maybe Roots Maneuver. Some more.
I know that.
Yeah,
I know
Roots. Yeah.
And who's regarded as? Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of like people not rapping too English, if you know what I mean. Not such a thick English accent, because that can be quite off-putting for a lot of people. I think a lot of the Americans or Europeans hear English rap and they thought, what is that? I don't understand a word they're saying.
I don't even understand like regular. You know, I listen to.
Yeah,
I have to ship my sugar is one of my favorite albums of the year. I don't know what the fuck that guy's talking.
We have shit like I just mentioned that 2 Chainz. You know, they're so southern. Yeah. They're from the South, and like the shit they like, they're slang it. We're like, it doesn't, you know, it's so like foreign to like us New Yorkers that it's like, you know, so to hear someone like, God, who's the guy that I like, that Skepta guy, right? Like that's his name. Like a lot of the stuff he has. Skeptic. Yeah. So like that shit. But I think we'll always mention the streets. There's certain people, you know,
who would be regarded in like as the best MC to ever come out of England in your country. Like, who do you think your best export?
Some say, well, Rodney P. It depends what you were talking about. If you're talking more like Dizzy Rascals, you want to talk about more kind of like your bigger stuff. I mean,
right?
Yeah, but Rodney P is probably one of the most renowned kind of MCs. Yeah.
Okay.
So all the streets.
Interesting. Streets.
And the difference between like, is grime and like garage like the same thing?
I leave that. That's not my cup of tea, but yeah, it's a lot of it does border into grime and sort of a garage and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. I would imagine that's like probably like drill music to us, where we're like,
yeah,
where it's kind of like so gang affiliated that we're like, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Cool. Yo, Davey, you're the man.
Thanks,
we appreciate you. I like seriously. We're big fans of you. You're fucking awesome. I'm so glad that we encountered each other.
We speak your name.
Yeah, we speak your name, you know.
Likewise. Yeah.
So thank you so much for hanging out with us. And anytime, you know, you're always welcome to come hang out with us. So
do it again, another 70 episodes. Last time it was 71 or something. It was 70 episodes ago. So we'll do it another 70 episodes.
Yeah. So every 70 we'll catch up.
All right.
Cool. Take it easy.
All right, later.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye.
I feel that freedom. Awake. Back from it. Now it's open. Let me tell you. Yo. Gray's growing faster than my seeds, seal that cavity. Screws walk past them, steel keys, still my family. It's a disaster, man, it's a tragedy. Breathe in the laughter plant, then breathe out the agony. Seems that the aftermath to free is only parody. Read the master plan, years for Her Majesty. But rebuilding tougher. Sacrifice and punish me, but please don't make my children suffer. It's nearly killed their mother. She's in a state, lock the prison gate. All that suffering that we could not eliminate. Freedom disintegrate. I'm supposed to integrate through the window grate. I'm in the winter state. I'm in a state of shock. Now my status drop. They wanna take a shot, take the law. Nearly dead, but I feel like I've just been born. Tears shed, but I feel like I crossed the storm.